It took the British police and the MI5 security agency 10 years to collect evidence to arrest Terry Adams, the so-called Godfather of England, to pay for his crimes. But until now, Terry Adams has still managed to evade all large-scale investigations related to 23 murders as well as many other illegal business activities. Terry Adams was born and raised in an Irish Catholic family. Living in the Barnsbury area of Islington, this family, according to police records, was not only a major drug ring but also involved in the deaths of 25 people. However, the police had no clear evidence to convict these people. Moreover, a large number of police officers, and many members of the jury are said to have received bribes, being members of this exceptional mafia organization. This notorious organization has hinted at owning a powerful trump card in the Conservative Party. It is this organization that has weakened the judicial system, in addition to possessing veteran lawyers who are always capable of helping defendants to be acquitted or receive very little punishment with monster and sophisticated tricks. Victims do not dare to testify because of the fear of threatening their families. So most of the trials are won by Terry Adams' family. The butchers of this mafia gang always keep a calm face when questioned in court because they have absolute confidence in the strength of the organization. Terry Adams's bad record began from his youth when he blackmailed his classmates at school in Islington, North London, and at his peak. According to the police, he was the main drug dealer across Europe in the 80s of the last century. Among the gang's victims was former British high jump champion Claude Mosley, who became a sporting drug dealer and was nearly cut in two by a samurai sword after a purge. Together with his brothers Pat, 49, and Tommy, 47, Terry Adams headed a mafia family that controlled parts of North London. The gang's official businesses included a string of London pubs, a West End nightclub, a trendy Smithfield restaurant, and a jeweller's store with assets worth at least £200 million. In the late 1980s, they were responsible for the distribution of most of London's ecstasy, cannabis, and cocaine. The family had long been associated with the Brinks-Mat gang, which sold gold, diamonds, and other stolen goods. The gang's leader, Kenneth Noy, was later shot dead in his luxury home in 1998, after police said he had made the terrible mistake of incurring the wrath of the Grim Reaper Terry Adams. The family also attempted to buy the famous Tottenham Hotspur FC football club in 2000. The family has links to Colombian drug cartels and mafias. According to police investigation records, members of the Adams family used violence as a tool to intimidate businesses, including a businessman who had his ears and nose cut off so brutally that he reported it to the police but could not find any clues, so the police were helpless. A man named Frankie Fraser, who was shot in the head in August 1991 and survived, also denounced the Adam organization, but the case still went on mysteriously when Terry Adam could not be put in prison. A drug dealer headed by Manchester John, who borrowed £100,000 from the gang and could not repay it, was also killed. David Mackenzie, who lost £1.5 million in Terry Adams' investment, lost 3 ribs and had his face severely damaged. When his brother Tommy was jailed in 1998 and sentenced to 7.5 years for trafficking £8 million worth of cannabis, Terry Adams managed to get police confirmation that his last firearms offense had been in 1992 and that he had retired soon after. In fact, by the early 1990s, Terry Adams was considered a successful businessman and could have retired at the age of 35. His life now consisted of world travel in first class, luxury hotel rooms in Italy, and a passion for expensive watches, jewelry, and sports cars. The Adams Clan A-Team, or Gang of Death. The supremacy of the organization was shaken when Terry Adams was arrested and placed under the supervision of the agency in charge of serious organized crime. Adams' homes were bugged when he installed a Sky satellite dish, and over the years surveillance teams have compiled a list of references to the notorious British criminal. In March 2007, a search warrant was issued and police found £60,000 in a shoebox when they raided Terry Adams' home in Dukes Avenue, Finchley, North London, but investigators believe Adams disposed of all his illegal assets. 2. Notorious crimes of Terry Adams and the Adams family. 1. Drug trafficking. One of the main activities of the Adams family was drug trafficking. They established routes to transport drugs from South America and Europe into the UK. Terry Adams and his organization built up a vast network of drug distribution, from large suppliers to small dealers. These activities not only generate huge profits but also contribute to the increase of drug abuse in society. Drugs are transported through complex routes and use various methods to avoid detection. Shipments are often disguised as legitimate goods and are transported through many countries before reaching the UK. Adams' family uses modern technology and experts in the field to ensure that smuggling activities take place smoothly and safely. 2. Arms trafficking. In addition to drug smuggling, Adams' family is also involved in illegal arms trafficking. They supply weapons to other criminal gangs and even terrorist organizations. Terry Adams, with his extensive connections in the international criminal world, has established channels to supply weapons from Eastern Europe and the Middle East into the UK. These activities are not only very profitable but also pose a serious threat to national security. The weapons trafficked included assault rifles, pistols, ammunition, and even explosive devices. The Adams family had connections to arms manufacturers in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, who imported weapons into the UK through complex smuggling routes. These weapons were then sold to criminal gangs and terrorist organizations, contributing to the rise of violence and organized crime in the country. 3. Murder for hire and violent activities. The Adams family were also known for their murder for hire activities. They were willing to accept murder contracts from other criminal gangs or even individuals with whom they had personal conflicts. Terry Adams and his organization carried out many assassinations, internal payments, and other acts of violence to consolidate their power and protect their interests. One of the most famous murders by the Adams family was the assassination of David "Dippy" Moran, a member of a rival gang. The incident occurred in 1991, when Moran was shot dead in the middle of a crowded London street. This brazen murder shocked the public and increased pressure on the police to investigate and suppress the Adams family's activities. The murders were often carried out in a brutal and precise manner, ensuring that the victim had no chance of survival. The Adams family's hired killers were often professional assassins, equipped with modern weapons and highly skilled in combat. They carried out the assassinations on the orders of Terry Adams or other senior members of the organization to eliminate threats or competitors. After being arrested, Terry Adams relied on a powerful legal force that was able to delay the trial for 3 years and even negotiated with the police to have his wife, Ruth Adams, post bail for him. He even managed to get prosecutors to admit that he had not been involved in any serious criminal activity since 1993. And while in prison, he was treated like a tycoon. In a special interview with the British media, Terry Adams said that his sentence of 3 years and 6 months was a fair sentence, and that Terry Adams had once again proven himself to be a master of notorious criminals. He was only ordered to pay £4,700,000 in tax evasion compensation. According to some sources, Terry Adams was facing financial difficulties, which continued to be difficult in February 2010 when a man claiming to be Terry Adams' nephew was convicted of murder. The 38-year-old was sentenced to a minimum of 36 years in prison, and there is no way he will get out of prison easily because the murder was so brutal and the evidence was so clear. The nature of the criminal world makes it difficult to assess the true power of Terry Adams. According to the BBC, the Mafia clan has been in decline since 2000, but no one can deny the expansion and heavyweights of this organization everywhere. According to the Underworld, this family issued its own currency, bearing the Terry Adams mark for a long time, which is a message of power as well as showing the far-reaching influence of this organization. When he was released in 2010, Terry Adams was greeted at the prison gate by a charming red-haired driver in a £600,000 Range Rover, flanked by 2 luxury black cars. Terry Adams, the most feared gangster in England, elegant in a white shirt with a collar, tucked into light-colored khaki pants. Terry Adams looks very stylish and calm. No one can think that this is the most formidable man in England, the boss of weapons and drugs. The British police are still waiting for the opportunity to capture this old criminal with full evidence. And until then, Terry Adams is still at large outside the law. Money, power, cold-bloodedness, and wisdom have made Terry Adams still at large, but surely now the tiger must be afraid and fold its wings to lie still. But who knows if the genealogy of this family will continue to be added to the list of criminals among the descendants of Terry Adams, or is it about to be lost? Ashley Cole has rented a 3-bedroom house in Barnet, North London, worth £600,000, to Terry Adams and his wife for £1,500 a month. A source has said, only Ruth Adams currently lives in the house. Terry Adams, 52, lived in the England defender's house with his wife for 17 months after serving a 7-year sentence before being rearrested in 2010 for money laundering. The man who regularly comes in and out of the cell is a die-hard Arsenal fan. Chelsea's London rivals. Neighbors say Ruth Adams drives her Lexus home every day. A local said, "It's interesting to know that the house belongs to Ashley Cole because Terry is a die-hard Arsenal fan and once wanted to buy the Gunners. Ruth was polite but didn't chat to us for long. It appears she is still in regular contact with her husband." At a court hearing in November last year, Terry Adams gave his residential address as a house in Barnet. The housing authority confirmed that the house was owned by Ashley Cole. However, the authorities confirmed that the Chelsea defender, who owns a number of properties, had done nothing illegal by renting the house.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And as always, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.